One by one, teenagers get out of the minibus labeled "Evacuate Children". The oldest of them is 16 years old. The Russians took them from their parents in the Kherson and Kharkiv regions in September-October 2022, when the territories were still occupied. The Russians then said that the children were taken away for 2 weeks. Vitaly ended up in the occupied Crimea. He says there were many Ukrainian children there. They were moved several times from camp to camp. They forced them to learn and sing the anthem of Russia, and for mentioning Ukraine they could be hit with a metal stick and forced to burn the Ukrainian flag.
We were sitting at the girl's house and they came in. They see a small flag on a stick. He comes in, tears it off and starts swearing. "What are you, bastards? Are you sick? You are in Russia. Here Ukraine is nowhere and never will be. It will just burn out. Let's go and watch how Ukraine burns." He forced us to go. He lit it with a lighter, and it just burns, that's all.
The food in the camp was poor, Vitaly said, and the children were not given bed linen at all.
I went to the director of the camp. "Give me a bed linen to sleep on." She says, "I don't care. You're from Ukraine. Sleep on what you have."
They threatened to take the children to a boarding school in Pskov and give them up for adoption. They said that their parents had abandoned them, and the liberation of Kherson was allegedly a lie of Ukrainian propagandists. The Russians did not agree to return the children home even after the liberation of the territories.
After the deoccupation, the Russians refused to organize the return of the children, and the parents were left alone with this problem. Complex logistics, constant danger, a line of fire or several borders for many of them turned the return of children into a super task. Therefore, they turned to Save Ukraine for help. From a press release of the charity foundation Save Ukraine on Facebook.
Since March 2022, the Office of the Prosecutor General of Ukraine has recorded the deportation of more than 16,000 children from the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv and Kherson regions. But the real figure could be much higher. According to the National Information Bureau, 324 children were returned to the territory of Ukraine as for March 24th.
Today, Ukrainian children are illegally deported and moved not only to the territory of Russia, but also to the territory of Belarus. They are also subjected to processing and propaganda by the so-called Russian world. And although in every possible way to make Ukrainian children forget that they are Ukrainians. That is, this process is going on and the machine is working. This terror is working to its fullest.
The EU plans to organize a conference to ensure the return to their homeland of Ukrainian children who were taken to the Russian Federation during the military invasion. The head of the European Commission said she would work with Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki to mobilize international support for the return of Ukrainian children.
There's one topic that is especially important to me, that is the case of abducted Ukrainian children. It is a horrible reminder of the darkest times of our history, what's happening there, to deport children. This is a war crime. We know today of 16,200 children that have been deported. Only 300 have returned so far. And these criminal actions completely justify the arrest warrants issued by the ICC.
On March 17th, the International Criminal Court in The Hague issued international arrest warrants for Russian President Vladimir Putin and children's rights ombudsman Maria Lvova-Belova. They are accused of deporting Ukrainian children from the occupied territories of Ukraine to Russia. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Natalia Husak, UATV News.